Good afternoon from beautiful Brisbane, Australia, and welcome to Complex PTSD TV Live. My name's Linda. I'm your certified trauma recovery coach. And today we're going to go through and talk about what is a complex PTSD plateau. And then we're going to talk about how we can disrupt the plateau because it's important that we do. Now, this came up in group recently, and I thought I need to sit down and write this out for you so that you can have a takeaway and a think about it. Now, a complex PTSD plateau is a type of resting place until the next breakthrough. So we can feel stuck in one place, we can feel like we're wading through mud, we can feel like we're in a cycle of depression. We can feel like, why did I come unstuck from all the healthy things I was doing in recovery? And we can feel like we've lost effectiveness due to underuse of our body, brain, or soul. Now, that sounds like a whole bunch of stuff altogether, and it's typical of complex PTSD when we think about it, because it's never one size fits all. It's never one size fits every step of recovery. And we need to be able to go, right, that's what's happening. I can feel that happening for me internally, and I want to understand why. So we want to ask questions about, is it a plateau? Or, now here's the catch-22. If it's not a plateau and you feel like you're not moving forward, then it could be that you're stuck in depression or there's been an overload of stress, and that requires a different set of dynamics to work through to get up and over that hurdle. Now, when you're at the beginning of recovery, hurdles can feel like, I'm just never going to get over the next one. They really can, and it's like, why isn't this simple? Why isn't it easy? Why don't I have information? And then we go, right, what's the next lot of information that I need? Okay, so that's a whole different chat show, because when we go through that cycle, the length of time that we stay stuck in the ditch, as I used to say, I'll be the ditch again, we go, right, it lessons and lessons and lessons as our brain heals, okay? So that time we begin to be able to recognize it sooner, and we go, right, I know what I need to do to get back on board. However, when there's a plateau, it comes about in a different way. And we know that we've been doing a lot towards healing. And what happens in the plateau is our body and our brain need time to adjust to what's happening. Okay, so we've put in this big effort. All right, so for me, I've done gym, I've done TIM, I've done all my intentional breathing. I'm aware that I'm able to focus intently for longer periods of time. I'm aware I'm able to do gym, and I go to gym to do the intentional breathing. I'm aware I'm able to do that more days in a row successively. And it doesn't mean that I'm upping any, speed or anything. In fact, it can mean that I'm going and I'm slowing down because my body and brain are trying to adjust to everything that I'm doing. All right. So there is a big difference with the plateau. And then we need to take time to have an assessment. We need to be willing to assess ourselves internally and say, have I been doing more? Do I need to give my body and brain time to adjust to the more that I am doing? And know that that's what's happening internally. So when we want to disrupt the plateau, we want to remember the daily structure we had when we were doing well and return to it, because our brain needs daily structure. Whether we like it or not, we need the daily structure because it's healthy for our brain. Our brain literally requires structure. And it's healthy because the brain goes, I can now let go of whatever it is that it's holding on to, because it senses our internal strength. All right. And that way we don't have to go back looking for anything. we know that if we keep building into our life, building structures, strategy, new awareness, deeper internal levels of awareness, our brain will automatically let go and our body will automatically let go of what it needs to let go, okay? Now, we can create new experiences in our daily life to shift our brain and body, and some type of movement is essential. So we may not know or want to know, for some of us, we may not want to know that we've got to move, okay? And it can be really hard in this plateau phase because part of it is dissociation. And we go through having to heal structural dissociation. So that's a whole other chat show as well about the structural dissociation. But this is part of the plateau, is that we're up in that part of dissociation and we're going, it just feels incredibly hard to focus on my one next step. But the way to have that happen and move into getting out of the plateau is actually movement. So we can set ourselves goals of time to make ourselves move. So I'm going to give myself 5 minutes worth of time to sit here, and it's not procrastination, but mull over whatever I'm mulling over. And then I'll go, okay, I've wasted enough time doing that. I'm going to get up and move so that my whole self can get up and get moving again. For me, it might not get me out the door to gym, but it does get me up and moving, and it does help reset and refocus my intentions for what I want it to be, okay? We can consciously choose to connect with another person and be intentional about the connection and our underlying emotions when we connect. What we harbor in secret keeps us sick, okay? So when we're going, oh, I'm on a plateau, I've got to connect with somebody, we have to be willing to own if we don't want to do it and we don't feel like it's healthy for us, or that person's in a stressful stage and we can't do it, or we're in a stressful stage and it's not healthy for someone else. It's really beginning to be willing to own what's happening for us internally. But even a quick text chat can help you shift up and through the plateau and get you moving again. It's helping to overcome the abandonment wound by choosing to connect and choosing to be willing to own what's happening internally for us. Now, you want to work with either your trauma recovery coach or your professional to devise new strategies for the challenge you're facing with your trauma recovery journey. Sorry, that didn't all come. You want to do this for your trauma recovery journey, and here's why. Because they can often see more about what's connecting, what's holding you back in the plateau than you can see yourself. So, for example, I had one of my clients connect with me. They've done a lot of work and they're at the advanced stages in recovery. And they said, right, I've got this happening, this happening, this happening. So 3 different situations in their life with 3 different components. And I was able to sit back and say, can you see this is what's connecting these 3 very different things, and this is what's driving you internally. And that's what we need, is that outside connection of somebody who can say, hey, this is what's happening for you, and make sure that they're complex trauma qualified, okay? Because otherwise you're going to be beating your head against a brick wall. We don't want that. Okay, now we also, to get through the plateau, we can gain new information or education about the subject that you're feeling stuck in. So if I was feeling stuck around my boundaries, then I'd go and search for new information around boundaries. All right. You don't, and if I'm stuck in perfectionism, then I want to read something about perfectionism. And we don't want to go, oh, I know all that already. because every time you go looking for something about complex trauma, we need to imagine like a blank sheet that says, okay, there's something I haven't learnt yet that I need to know so that I can take it in internally and I can build a deeper awareness of how that's impacting my life and keeping me stuck. Okay, I hope that helps you begin to take some next steps, and if you can, like, share, subscribe. Remember, we are at the forefront of being the change that generations need, and there are so many people still without access to a voice that resonates and to a community that they can resonate with. So I will absolutely appreciate it if you like, share, subscribe, because we want to help as many people as possible know they are not alone on this incredibly hard journey, but it's worth it. Okay, bye for now, and I will talk to you soon.